Turn me up. This is
coming to you from the heart of the Pacific, brought to you by Paulie by Design.
respected at all times.
Broadcasting from San Francisco, California, the city by the bay.
It's about to go down.
We shine on positive Pacific Islander role models every Sunday.
Party on a Sunday.
From 10 a.m. to noon, it's time for the iconic Faika Podcast with your hosts,
Listening to
Naki and Carl.
Naki's on time this morning.
I know.
I'm up.
Okay. All that
Good morning,
coffee.
everybody.
Good morning.
10 a.m. on the dot. It is March 15th. This is episode what, Naki? 8?
Uh-huh.
Episode 8.
8.
8 of season 4 of the
Yeah,
season
yeah.
of the Faika Podcast. And that's your lovely co-host, Naki. Good morning, Naki.
Good morning.
You heard fresh back from the Emerald City on microphone 3, Neil Ve'evea. Good morning, Neil.
Aloha.
And we
Like that.
have our special guest co-host this morning, Epi Aumavae. Good morning, sister.
Good morning. Morning.
And we saw Epi yesterday. We'll talk about that in the check-ins.
Yes.
We have our first hour. We'll be doing the check-ins and getting to share some time with Samoan Solutions founder Epi Aumavae. And then we will have the director of, what's the name of the video?
This is me, the PI. This is me promoting and
The
pushing
20
the
The census.
census.
Census
Yeah.
campaign
Yeah.
video.
Auntie John is all over that.
Ruben Carrillo?
Carrillo.
Yeah.
Ruben Carrillo will be in all the way from Hawaii. He'll be calling
Aloha.
in from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
All
That is our
right.
show today. Naki, what's up?
Oh, wow. That's
I wasn't ready for that.
damn. Yesterday we all had the ethnic media
That looked amazing.
meeting, virtual / in-person
Zoom.
meeting.
Zoom
Yeah,
meeting.
Zoom meeting. Zoom meeting.
Zoom.
So it was in San Mateo. It was put on by Pacific Islander Count Committee.
And what?
Is
Yeah.
that what? Did I say it right?
The it's
Ethnic Media Service.
Ethnic Media Service was the host.
Yes.
And then Pacific Islanders Complete Count Committee of San Mateo County.
Yes.
Hi.
Well,
They provided the space.
and
Yes.
what was the reason for the gathering or coming together? Epi.
So it was a media briefing to encourage people to participate in the census.
Nice.
There was community leaders, educators, community advocates
Yeah.
that were all logged in and a part of the panel that were talking about challenges and successes with outreach. And then the wonderful Alici just kind of broke down all of our data from,
Okay, she shut us
from
down.
2010.
That's awesome.
And then Tau Anu'uve'e,
Uh-huh.
she talked about, with the Pacific Islander Task Force, she talked about the importance of disaggregated data for the Pacific Islander community and what that means for us. And then there's just like a host of everybody else.
Wow.
At one point, there was like 100 people online, and so it was kind of badass. And then Sandy Close and her crew did a good job.
It's encouraging to see that this is happening, right?
I loved it because I had all of us that were in and involved and online to
Right.
get information to our people.
Right.
It was crazy amazing.
I love that because I don't think there was a push like that 10 years ago to really try to get our numbers in there and
Yeah.
to see that there were over 100 people
Yeah.
participating who were advocates and
Yeah.
leaders.
And there was a few speakers. There was
Any of our faith-based leaders, were they there?
I don't think so.
No? Were they invited?
No, and
No.
probably, I don't
Because
think
it was
they were.
it was supposed to be a media
Ah,
thing.
media,
So
okay.
Island Block Radio was on.
Nice.
Radio Tonga, Poly
Poly
Central,
Yeah.
For the Culture.
Oh, good.
Yeah, just a bunch of people. And so it was really trying to get all the media together to see how we can promote the Census 2020. To promote the Census 2020, just because it's so important. And a bunch of Manufo was there. She spoke. She talked about how she got crazy. But, you know.
She's a very emotional
She's
speaker.
very emotional.
She had a
did-
topic that was close to her. It was close to her heart, and I could tell that she was kind of locked and loaded for that. She wanted to deliver the message, and she did. It was funny. I was watching the messages, the comments go on the live feed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like the Poly by Design live feed.
So you
All
can
the
tell
comments are on the
if
side.
they were in it or
Oh my
not.
God! There people were like, "I want to be like Fo when I grow up."
Oh my God! Yeah.
And I was joking around. I was like, "Hey, that's a great campaign.
Yeah.
Fo for 20 Fo.
They-
Fo for
oh my
president."
God.
Faux for two
So
faux.
hood. That's hood.
Faux for two faux.
Oh, two
It was
Yeah.
she gave a rousing
That's awesome.
speech, and it fired everybody up. I really felt like there was a wide variety, but it felt like a beginning. It didn't feel like we reached the finish line with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It felt like, okay, now we need to get together and do the work.
So, of course, I'm going to bring this up, but with the census, a lot of money was allocated to different parts and segments of our PI groups. Was anything mentioned about the LGBTQ population?
Yeah.
They did mention.
Okay.
That was actually brought up by the facilitator.
Yeah.
Nice.
Facilitator.
And I think that they threw it in there, but they didn't. No one had like a pre-conversation
Right.
Right.
with them, so I know for sure Vo was caught off guard.
Right.
And then thankfully Danny had some words to speak about and to
Right.
share as far as the work that was being done from 2010 to now to kind of help to have the LGBTQ community represented
That's
on the
nice.
forum.
Right.
That's awesome.
So he spoke on that as well. I know that there was supposed to be funding that was specific to the LGBTQ
There
community,
is,
and then
yeah.
in Santa Clara they pulled it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
heard some
so I
people
don't know
applied and
why
didn't
or
get
how
it. Yeah,
that happened.
exactly.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
So real quick before we go, on that note, I could tell that it was an impromptu question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And G-Boy handled it really well.
Nice.
I mean,
Yes,
because
he
it was
did.
off the cuff, and he was, he was the same way of like, oh, I didn't know that I was going to talk about that. And D-Boy did a good job. I mean,
He
he's
did a great
always,
job.
he holds
Awesome.
himself,
Yeah.
he's composed, great representative of the community, and especially the LGBTQ community. He was, he spoke
Well informed
and off, quick on his feet with
yeah,
it too.
that's
Yeah.
what we need.
How was your week, Neil?
Oh,
Yeah.
segue.
Segue. There you go.
Let's see. I'm always doing something, but I just got back from Seattle, and let me tell you, it was dismal to say the least. There was nobody out. Everybody
Right.
was pretty much in. We did go out for dinner and stuff, and I took Naki's advice and I sprayed down everything and everywhere.
How'd that go
Right.
over?
People just kind of looking at you like, what the hell? And I was, you
Better
just gotta,
safe than
yeah.
sorry.
And it's so funny because I was at 7-Eleven just now, buying our taquitos and stuff, and this older gentleman said, "Oh man, it's cold out there," and I go, "Oh, not as cold as Seattle," and he goes, "What?" And I go, "Yeah, I just came in." He goes, "Oh, let me stay away from you."
Right.
I was like, "What?"
Oh.
But yeah, so Seattle was very nice. The plane going over, there was like 20 of us on that plane.
gosh.
I was like, whoa. But coming back,
was
it was
full.
packed. So
Everybody was trying to
people
get
were like,
out.
let's leave Seattle.
Yeah. But you went for the Pacifica Summit. That
Yeah,
got canceled.
I did. It did get canceled, but there were several of us that were up there. They had rented a Airbnb for some of the people to stay, so we had a dinner one night, which was really great. I got to meet some really awesome people. Afro Tana was there. Deja, she made these
Deja.
awesome cupcakes.
Nice.
I met Pastor Thompson. I think he's out of Carson. Him and his
okay.
Falitua, younger pastor in Falitua, and very progressive in the way they think. And I really enjoyed our conversation, and hopefully that there'll be more of the same conversation with other young Faifa'als and their wives, because these two were amazing. Let's see. Of course, saw Taffy. She is the executive director of Utopia Seattle. Always great to see my sis Taffy, and also Joseph Sia, who was one of the coordinators of the event. So we did still kind of get together and just kind of sat around and talk and ate. Of course, food always brings people together,
Right.
and we took a little group picture. But hopefully, they're shooting for May. But let's see how this whole virus thing plays out, and if not May, maybe July, because I told them let's not try June. It's Pride Month, and everybody's, I'm pretty
everybody's busy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, so that was it, and then of course we had a trip scheduled for tomorrow to go to New Zealand, and that got canceled.
Prime Minister canceled all incoming flights.
And if you do arrive, you're 14-day quarantined. And that's
Damn,
our trip,
that's
right?
your trip, right.
If we would have went, we would have been quarantined and then got on the plane
to
get back. Yeah, so
yeah,
very disappointed. You know, I had to get a hold of about 4 or 5 people because I had put out the word early enough to let people know that I was coming. I wanted to meet other activists and other people doing the work there, and we had everything set up to where I was going to have lunches with some people and kind of just see the work that they're doing. And you know, it's just kind of sad, like, can't make it, maybe next time. So better safe than sorry. Right. And I am at that target age group that everybody keeps reminding me about, you know.
I know, but you're not the normal target age.
But you know, viruses don't know that.
Yeah,
so
that's
you know,
true.
but I've been taking a lot of advice of spraying things down and drinking lots of water and just, you know, staying healthy as you can stay. And I guess I'm looking forward. This is really weird. I'm looking forward to being at home and baking and cooking, you know, just being at home, sanitizing everything and not having to be out there. And I think stress is the biggest thing that's happening with a lot of people because they're going crazy. Like, really, people, the toilet paper thing, I don't get
the toilet paper thing.
I mean, the water thing I get,
I
right?
know.
We all need to be, but take your ass into the shower and wash yourself. I mean,
everywhere, no toilet paper.
I've even had a neighbor come over and like, can I have a roll of toilet paper? Like, bitch, you want a cup of coffee, or you know, can I give you some sugar?
Oh my god!
Yeah, no, I mean, is this what it's? You know what? We could stack up on that shit and sell it.
I know.
By the square.
By the square.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, so and Utopia also has a segue.
Perfect.
We still have bingo squares available. Bingo squares available. Listen, we got to try to make money for Pride this year. It is the 50th anniversary for San Francisco Pride, and it's over 20 years that Utopia has marched in this parade. Our float has been, we're not building one. We're just giving it to somebody else. The float guys who are located on 54 Pier 54, down in China Basin, and they design floats.
That's so cool.
I know, and the lowest price was $4,500.
Oh,
yikes!
Dang.
For a 24-foot float. So that's what Utopia is going to have, is a 24-foot float. So we're raising money for that, and also for T-shirts. You know, we want to give away to all the chapters that are coming down. Yeah. Welcome Utopia Seattle, not Seattle. Utopia Sacramento.
They're new.
They're new. They're on board. So we now have 11 chapters plus one international in Australia.
Awesome.
So it's a good time for community, good time for everybody to jump on board. And I know Poly by Design will be there. We had such a good time last year.
Yes, we did.
Hey, they got big shoes to fill. Those professional float builders.
Yeah.
Poly by Design helped build it last year. And
Man.
we won awards.
And you know what? They actually said that they've been watching Utopia just do things, you know, just putting things together. And they were like, well, what's the difference this year? And I go, you know, we're kind of tired of just 2 days to come together and put everything. We're just going to pay somebody to do it.
It's nice to be, I guess, in my mind, it's nice for you guys to be recognized that they have watched
they have
of your floats.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun time.
God.
It was very stressful because we were trying to put it together in a really short, compacted amount of time.
Yeah.
But the camaraderie and to see it all just
it
come together
fun.
and make it happen, that
and
was special.
That's, I think, part of it is bringing people together, right? And just breaking bread, building. I mean, people were calling you and Mo engineers. I mean, like, look at those guys go. Right.
I just wanted to shout out some of the people that are on. Danny Boy is actually on, and he said the LGBTQ plus is not counted on the census, but there is a space to identify same-sex partners that are married. I did see that when I filled out the form. And then what else did he say?
So different genders are not recognized on the census form either, like trans and gender nonconforming. So There was a kind of a rough draft that was put out by the census, and it included LGBTQ as
But
one
then
of the, and then they pulled it
pulled it
back.
out, yeah.
So the final version didn't have it on there, but I think there was a lot of hope that was
gonna
that
stay
was going
in.
to happen. I think that
Yeah.
it would have been a big step in bridging, I guess, the Trump administration and the LGBT community. But they just passed it over and yanked it
And
out
I
of
think
there.
it's the
Right.
fear of knowing that there are a lot of, our community is very large and they participate in so many things in so many different areas that, with power comes a little status, and I think our politicians aren't really ready for that. A lot of them are still in the closet. They come out after being
That's a
caught,
thing. It's a thing now where almost like the most vocal Republicans
Right.
against the gay lifestyle.
come out later on in life.
Yeah, it's like now I would think that if I weren't gay and I were Republican, I still wouldn't scream it out because it seems like the ones that are most vocal are the ones that
yeah.
a couple of years later are the ones coming out.
But hopefully in 10 years, we don't have to go through that. But look
Right.
at the time period that we have to wait just to get that little thing on the piece of paper. So
Right.
kudos to Danny Boy for educating
I know,
those.
and he said the new administration cut all efforts, which is gonna.
Of course,
Of
you know,
course.
and yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think it's also like when we don't understand how this data is used and what that means.
Right.
Really when you think about it, what is the harm in adding another box?
Right.
What is the harm in adding all of our Pacific Islands so that people don't have to write it in, or we're not
Exactly.
lumped in with under
Other-
the ANHPI
Right.
grouping category, but there's a reason why they do it.
Right.
Like it's not like, oh, they looked over it. They
No.
purposely remove these
Yeah.
categories because
Yeah.
then that means you have to serve these people. Then that
Yeah.
tells people that,
Right.
money should be allocated to them, funding should be allocated to them. That it's recognizing people, like
Right.
Neil was saying. Like we think that it's just like, oh, well, they decided against it, but it's very calculated.
Well, I
Yeah.
think
It's
that-
very,
That's
very
so
calculated
sad.
the way
That-
that they do
right.
it.
That's
Right.
so
I
sad.
don't know if this is the way that happened, but here's how it feels like it happened. The Obama administration did the work and put that on the forms,
Right.
and included that, and then they published the rough, and somebody said, "Whoa, hey, do you realize what's on there?" And then they yanked it back and took it off. That's how it feels like. It feels like the work was put in by the Obama administration, and who knows? I could be wrong with that. That's just my own.
I mean, it makes sense.
but if it was
Right.
done by the Trump administration, then why take it off?
Right.
yeah.
And Alisi was sharing that there was a strategist who passed away, and his daughter actually published his work that identified like strategies to purposely
Oh, wow.
block
Certainly.
minorities
Right.
from coming out and making it harder for them to complete the census, so that way they can redistrict the numbers and have power in the House.
Wow.
So
Gerrymandering.
and that just
So
pisses me
crazy.
off.
Yeah, just
Like
crazy.
it pisses me off because it's like it's already hard for us to try
I
and
was
tell
gonna
our
say,
people to get
right,
counted,
right.
And then you see that there's people who are strategizing to like kind of silence our voice and silence our representation. Like, because I asked Alisi at Journey to Empowerment. Oh, we were talking in the back about the timeline. Like,
Right.
we remember in 2010 we were out at the San Francisco Salmon Flag Day doing outreach already, and that's
Right.
in August. And now it's like we're all like, some of us was early as December, but mostly everyone was like January
Right.
to now
Right.
that we're doing the outreach. Why was that? And she said that the current administration slashed the budget in half, the outreach budget in half. So that just speaks volumes to sort of the outcome that they were wanting to have, so that people of color and people of minority families aren't really aware and aren't really comfortable
Yeah.
with speaking. There was like scare tactics of talk of putting the citizenship question on
Yeah.
the form, and not that to say that they would actually use it, but just because they wanted to scare people.
Of
You
course.
see that question and then you
Yeah.
don't do it at all.
It's already a
That-
feeling
like-
anyway,
That,
without it being on.
And
the
I just
form.
want to plead to our community, don't let any of this deter you. I mean,
Yes.
it could be so easy to say,
Right.
F it, I'm not even going to do it. No, we really need to stand firm. And even though the powers to be, like you said, really want to try to silence our voice, this is the perfect time for us to really get involved and to show them that, we ain't scared.
Right.
We're going to
Yes.
do this. We're going to do this.
Fiola Tufono Thanks for watching. He says, even the Asian Pacific Heritage Month, are we not the largest nation on the planet? Can we have our heritage by ourselves? I mean, I know we're one of the fastest growing ethnic, you know.
According to the demographic of age, right? Which is the younger population.
Right. Really, in that, when you think about our population having such a high percentage of people below the age of 25,
Right, that's a lot.
they're going to have kids.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we talked about this last week on the show. You got a 5-year-old kid. What do you want in place for the next 10 years? If you got a 7-year-old kid, an
Right.
8-year-old kid, they're done with high school the next time we get a chance to take account. That's already over. Game over for that. What's in
Right.
place for college? So that's really where the community needs to think about it is, well, maybe it doesn't mean much to me. Like, I don't really care whether I get counted or not. But for the community and for the people and for
Yeah,
the
it
responsibility we have to all of our people.
all of our
You know,
people.
if I don't have kids, but I want to see our people elevated, then I got to go get counted for the people that do have kids and for the kids.
Right.
I think that there's that education process that needs to take place. And so there's not it's like voting, right?
Right.
If I don't vote, well, I don't vote. But it's a different game with the census. And I think that people lump those into the same thing that, my vote doesn't count or my count doesn't count, so to speak.
Danny Boy said, thank you to all the leaders before us who did the work for us Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders to be recognized in our own category on the census. Before 2000, we were counted under Asian Pacific Islanders.
Yeah, and he made a comment that I love this comment in a lot of different ways. At the meeting, he said, we stand on the shoulders of others that came before us.
That's right.
We
That's
can
most
see what
definitely.
we can see because we're on the shoulders, we're on the work that's already been done by those that came before us.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So besides the ethnic media group meeting, yes. How was your week, Epi?
It was great. On Friday, I was able to attend the homegoing service for my uncle Falafatu.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, my dad and I were running late because of the timing of it, so we caught the burial. But oh my gosh, where he's laid to rest is so beautiful. Skyline Memorial up off of 92, like right before you. Yeah, it's in the cuts.
Nice.
And it was just so beautiful. Like, and I remember, talking with my mom and my aunts, and they said that, oh yeah, your uncle Brown had like made his plans a long time ago. Long time ago.
But can
and
you
like,
see him being prepared?
how awesome.
And,
yeah.
right?
I'm like, this uncle of ours was like the best dressed in
Right.
church every day. Always looked sharp. Always looked sharp. And I'm glad we got to go out because my aunts, they made the decision for my grandma to stay because of the COVID-19. And, but, always checked on her. He always checked on her. He always came by the house, made sure she was okay. And sometimes, he'd be the one to bring her communion, so I'm so thankful that we were able just to say, our last farewells. And he planned his service to the T. Like, it was beautiful. It was really, really nice. So we were there on Friday. And then yesterday, while I was at the ethnic services media briefing,
Right.
Fanga was over at Vaipuna Leola Church
Yes,
doing
I've
outreach
seen
over
that.
there. And so one of the strategies that we had in mind before this whole COVID-19 was to go out to churches and offer konga'i.
Right.
So, shoo in through the door
Yeah.
with the food.
With the food.
Thank you, Toke Moana Foods, for providing the food for us
Oh,
yesterday.
nice.
And then we would have asked for time to speak about the census, put some resource material in their hands. So that's exactly what happened yesterday. It was done on a Saturday because they were having their Matsanga Luenga meeting
Today.
or conference already on Saturday, and so they just came in
nice.
afterwards. And the pastor there was super supportive and really just gave space for us to share about the census and encourage their congregations to be counted. So that was awesome.
How did that go
Nice.
over? Did they accept the information? That
Yeah.
because they have the elders.
And Fanga said that when Margaret had played the This Is Me video, and then also the Samoan translated PSA
Yes.
that was done, here in San Francisco. Shout out to SCDC staff.
Yes.
And she said that they clapped. They all clapped. They loved it. They really, really loved it. So I think it was an amazing opportunity for us, especially with this whole self-isolation thing going out. You know, it really makes us kind of have to revisit how effective we're going to be when we're limited to face-to-face interaction with outreach as far as the census, and then also with all the other things that we're doing, like Fango and Luminati and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so then
I love that they played the video. And
they loved it.
And they loved it because a lot of them are not on social media.
Right.
So for them to
They don't
see it, hear it in their language, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
And it also just shows that how the greater picture might not get it, because the Census Bureau did not, our Samoan language is not one of the languages that they translated material in, but we understood that was a need. So thankfully Epic had kind of contracted all of these PSAs to be created in the different native tongues of all of our Pacific Islands.
Yes, I
and
love
then
that.
also they had all the material translated in all of our as many islands as they could. So that was awesome.
That was awesome. I love that.
It might not look like it's needed on a great scale for the Census Bureau, but it actually is.
It's
our
needed.
people, they identify with it.
Right.
They love to see it, and the message sits.
I love yesterday when we were all talking about how they were talking about our community is in low income and poverty stricken or whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, your definition of poverty is different than our definition.
Exactly.
I was like, oh man, that was like
It's
so
riches
deep for
for
me.
us. Yeah.
That was so deep for me. So
Wow.
that. And what about you, sir? You traveling? Usually Carl travels.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's been
how's
staying
that
at
going?
home.
That's the benefit of COVID-19.
You don't have to travel.
They told me no travel, and I didn't argue one bit. I said,
You could have at least went, oh, wow, really? I'm so
yeah.
disappointed.
It was like 5 or 6 weeks that was going to be in the air on the road.
Wow.
Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, all just all over the place.
So now it's home.
Now it's home. So I like that. I'm going to take advantage of that. I started. I'm going to do some cooking today. Since I'm going to be home.
Yeah.
I'm going to jumpstart some healthy eating. So
And I think we all should, right? Healthy eating is good. Salads and veggies and
it's harder when we're out of the house, right? But
Yeah.
if we're not going to meetings and we're not flying and we're not doing those things and we're at home,
You
then
can do those
It
things.
should be easier if you make a conscious effort. So I'm doing that tonight. I'm headed back after today, after the show, and I'm going to be cooking for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So prepping, meal planning.
Oh yeah.
I'm
prep.
successful when I can carry my food with me. If I can carry my food with me and healthy food is within reach, I'm okay.
Yeah.
If I'm asking somebody to make me something, i.e. eating at a restaurant, I'm not going to ask them to make me something healthy. Probably. I'm probably going to ask for something really bad. So I'm going to remove that part of the equation, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing a day at a time.
Yeah.
So today, what I can do is I can eat healthy today, and I can get ready for tomorrow. That's important. Oh, real quick before we move on, D-Boy had written some names down.
Oh yeah. So okay.
You want me to go ahead?
He was just thanking, like he said, the people that came before us,
Right.
the shoulders that we stand on. Pat Luce, who was National Office of Samoan
Affairs, right.
Karen Young, Victor Pang, Tupufia, Carlos Valentino, Sam Ripley, Makalika Fatilua, Lea Fa, of course,
Oh, lovely.
Samoa Pe'au, Mama D Uhila, of course, Sister Manufo, and so many others who are no longer with us. Just a quick shout out to people who are tuned in. Nelly Alo, Larry Tuyasasopo, Asenati Aumavae. Must be related to you. Good morning, Mary Bevea. Mary is on, and Tammy Tonyai Redondi. So good morning.
Good morning.
So that was my week. Was home working, making a couple trips to San Francisco for meetings, getting to rub shoulders and share space with amazing people like Epi.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a good week.
Nice. You know what I tried for the first time, which is totally gross, but people eat it, is chicken feet.
I saw that.
I've
on
seen
post.
that. I don't know.
Well, it's a texture thing for me. Yeah, and just the thought of,
Was it
Not
good?
a fan.
No.
That just says a lot.
I don't know. You know what? Okay.
I'm really scared.
A lot of people eat chicken feet. I get it. For me, it was tasty, but not for my taste.
You're
It
very
just-
politically
Yeah.
correct right now.
Just the fact
Who
that
are you? And
I
what
know.
have
All
you
these
done
little-
with my boyfriend?
all these little bones in there, and you're spitting them out on the plate, and I'm like, yeah, this is really like fun food here. But yeah, so I always say try something new, right? You got to try something new. So now I can say I've had chicken feet, and I will never have it again.
Okay, well, at
You
least
can
you can
speak on
say.
it. You can have an opinion.
Well,
right?
Samoans
'Cause you
used
tried
to
it.
make, the most awesome chicken soup. Like in Samoa, they would use the chicken feet, to flavor the stock. And I remember that because I would just watch like my grandmother and then like pull that out and just kind of like, just kind of eat it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like that.
Naki looks so overjoyed over there.
So everybody make your soup with chicken
I was
feet.
like-
But I think they do sell them in the butcher stores. Like you'll see them. So try something new,
I will
folks.
not be purchasing that.
Try something new, folks.
In the panic because all the grocery stores are getting emptied out.
Right.
And my wife went. She said the meat was completely empty.
Oh my gosh.
And they have not.
At a butcher store?
No, this is
Oh.
a grocery store.
Wow.
So one of the things that I'm from a small town, and I saw on one of the groups of the small town, they were saying how butcher shops are being ignored. So if you need meat,
Go to a butcher
Go
shop.
to a butcher shop, yeah.
because those are going to get overrun eventually too, as people.
Yeah.
But they're still going to the grocery stores. I was just reading some things on the toilet paper, like why is it toilet
Yeah,
paper?
why the toilet
Why?
paper?
In
What's the big fear?
1973, I guess there was before 1980, before we had the OPEC wars with remember the gas lines, like to get gas?
Yeah. I remember
Right.
that.
So that was in like 80. I guess in 73 there was the same kind of thing,
There was.
and they said there was shortages on certain things, and there's I guess, and this is more of a psychological thing. They're saying there's a elimination of risk for humans, right? So if you know there's something crazy going on,
Right.
you feel better if you can eliminate certain things from being at risk. So just a thing like toilet paper,
Right.
if I can not have to worry about that, then I'll
Everything
start
will be
feeling
okay.
better. That
Yeah.
at least those things I've taken care of.
That makes
Then,
sense.
If everybody has that and that's a human nature thing,
Right.
then everybody starts grabbing it, then it becomes a feeding frenzy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then once everybody starts seeing everybody else gather hand sanitizer or toilet paper or
Right.
wipes, then everybody starts, going after it.
crazy.
But
Right.
I
I
guess
mean-
the same thing happened with toilet paper in 73.
No, it's true because when I came home last night, that's the first thing I checked. When I, put my suitcases down and then I went
Was
and looked.
toilet paper?
Yeah, I was like, do we have enough? And I was
Yeah.
like, wait, what? And I felt better. I was
Right.
like, oh man, we got hell of toilet paper. I don't have to worry about it.
Right,
Yeah.
don't have to worry. That's
Right,
the thing.
you don't have to
there's-
worry. But
what do we control? We control buying toilet paper, I
But
guess.
that's when the bidet comes in.
Yeah.
Not many of us have those.
I
but
don't have one, but my sister does. One of my
Really?
sisters does. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's right next to when she first bought the house. I was
Yeah.
like, "What the?"
What's a water fountain doing in the
Right.
bathroom?
So there you go.
So if you have a bidet, you're okay.
Yeah.
If you have a water bottle, yeah, DIY.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go. Pinterest. We're gonna put it on Pinterest.
We're gonna make a video after this.
Right. This is how you clean yourself.
Yeah.
And Naki's gonna be our voiceover.
Oh my god.
Maybe that's why there's so many individual water bottles being sold.
There you go. They go hand in hand.
$99.99. This roll of toilet paper can be yours. Good
Oh my
morning.
gosh.
Who was on here? Tammy. Good morning, Flo. Sister Flo is
Hey,
on.
Flo.
Mo said, "Why would you eat chicken feet when there's more meat in chicken breast?" He's,
Right? You both.
Okay, I was
he's
just
such
trying
a titty
it,
man.
Mo.
He is such a titty man.
I was just trying it just to say I tried it and I will never try it again. I don't care if they say, "Oh no, you got to have them deep fried." No, I don't want them boiled, deep fried.
Maybe
skillet
there's a
fried.
difference.
Was that deep fried?
No, this had like I'm looking at it right now. It had like it was maybe dipped in panko or flour. I don't know what, but
So it wasn't fried.
it was, but there was a sauce on it. It was gelatinous. It was kind of like it was gross, but I ate it. It's like when I first had escargot. I'm like, what the hell? People eating escargot? That shit is nasty.
We're
they
moving
pay a
on
lot
from
for
chicken
it.
feet.
Wait,
Yeah.
okay.
We're moving on from chicken
So
feet.
much is
See?
running in my mind.
Now
right
you can go on your diet, and whenever you want to eat something, just think chicken feet and escargot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you won't do it.
Yeah.
And you won't do it. But ultimate cheeseburger sounds good right now.
Oh my God, that sounds so good. Let's see. What I did want to do is I wanted to shout out some of the people that spoke yesterday because they did such a good
I
job.
wish I was there.
Alisi Tulua,
I
who
love Alisi.
consultant, One East Palo Alto and program manager for OCA PICA. She was so organized.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
She
very
had the
much so.
screen. I mean, she had like
Data.
data.
There were some
and-
people
yes.
that we couldn't even get the words to come across. We couldn't hear anything. She
Yeah.
got on there and was like just
Boom.
expert level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Here's my
Right.
screen. Here's the data. It's
Yep.
Like, you have done this
you've
before.
Done this
Yeah.
before.
You've done
You're
this before.
professional. You're professional.
Okay.
So, her. Okay, who else was there? There was, of course, Tao Ve'e Nonga,
Tao with
right?
the-
She's with Regional Pacific Islander Task
Task
Force
Force.
and Rams, right? Is she with Rams?
No, she's not.
okay.
Natalie's with Rams.
Natalie's with Rams. And then Talavo Aumavae, of course, committee chair for Pacific Islander
Yay.
Complete Count Committee, San Mateo. Tavai Samuelu, executive director of EPIC. Patsy Tito, of course, executive director for Samoan Community Development Center. Our Epi Aumavae with Samoan Solutions.
Yeah.
Finau Tovio, College of San Mateo Mana program.
Nice.
She's going to be a doctor, right? Is that what she? Ooh, ooh. And then Shauna, I'm not even going to jack up her last name. You is her last
It's Mama D's daughter.
Yes, Mama D's daughter. She was representing College of San Mateo. Kalepi was representing City College of San Mateo. No, San Francisco. City College of San Francisco.
Nice.
And then Manufo, of course. Emily Tofu. Okay, she with Radio Tonga. She got cut off, I think.
What?
Did
Well,
she get?
Yeah. I don't think she's got everything out. She just said who they were, where they were
Their reach.
their reach, and
Which was
then-
huge.
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 Hawaii, South City, Oakland. I mean, Tonga,
Seattle.
Seattle.
Utah.
They are huge. So Radio Tonga, big shout out to them. Danny Vetvalu, of course, with For the Cultures. Sione Vimahi, Poly Central Podcast. That was the first time I met him. And then, of course, all the ethnic media people that were there.
And Naki Mole from Poly by Design. was just-
And Carl Johnson.
No, I didn't speak. Naki spoke.
Did you
Yeah.
speak, Naki?
She did.
For like
did.
a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Well, they asked us to, talk about you and the podcast, your reach, and what you're doing for the census.
Oh, nice.
So it was very nice.
Have any of you ever been to a media briefing before? I had never been to.
That
a
was
media
my
briefing
first one.
before. So I didn't even know what we were.
I
What the
didn't know what to
expectations
expect.
were?
Nobody. I didn't
I
know
know.
what the expectations were. People were
I didn't
asking me
either.
if I knew. I'm like, I have no idea. I've never been to one before.
I've been
I
to
know.
a media briefing, but it was for a sports event.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of questions and answer. It wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't
Almost
like,
like
that,
getting to know you kind of thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was different. I loved it because everybody that was on there was
Yeah.
like Island Block
Like your
Radio.
peers, right?
Yes, they didn't speak, but they were there. And then the group chat that was going on while
You were speaking, or they were
the
speaking.
thing was going, the Zoom was going on.
Yeah.
A lot of people that were in the room, so to say,
Wow.
were on the chat. Hey, what's up?
That's
Hey,
very
babe."
encouraging.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
encouraging.
So good morning to Finau, Sina, Tesa, Viola, Faifo, and Taleni James Tanielu, Daniel. There you go. Look at me. All from the Samoan language and culture class.
That's where we met Daniela.
So, and rumor is that's coming back. Just rumor. I'm not really sure when, but
But it is
You know.
called the
It's
Faika
needed.
Podcast,
it
so-
is,
Yeah, it's very much needed.
much needed. And supposedly the class is coming back with Tama and Tina, but location to be determined, I believe. So that is that. I didn't understand the ethnic media. I mean, I get they were trying to get all the media people and community leaders together. And so, but I wasn't sure who they were. 'Cause
I still don't know who they are.
I still don't know.
Oh,
I
as
don't
far
know
as an
what the-
entity, who they
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first time I heard of them. Was
were. Where are they
when we-
based from?
San
Was it-
Francisco.
Oh, okay.
They're based
Yeah.
out of San Francisco.
Mission Street.
Yeah, because I went to their website to
Oh.
look at everybody.
So they're based in San Francisco in the Mission. How long have they been in existence? Does anybody know that?
Anybody on the live, if you know,
Yeah.
If you
you
know,
will get a thumbs up.
And what is the scope of their
Yeah.
work? What have they done, or what have?
Yeah, like super nice people.
Yeah.
Oh my
really
God.
nice people. I don't doubt that the intentions are there, but
There you go.
Yeah,
But they
just
haven't had a
wasn't-
presence in the community.
Yeah, this was
just-
our first
Not,
time
yeah,
period
not.
that
I
we have
haven't
them.
seen them in the PI community, but
Yeah, I
they're,
think
this is their first
step. Yeah.
reach,
Oh,
and they're
that's-
trying
well,
to bring
that's great.
everybody together, and so
There was
it's,
another gentleman there from the newspaper, Chinese newspaper.
Chinese
Oh.
newspaper.
Wong.
Yeah,
I forget
his
specifically
name.
who he represented, but
Did he ask questions or make
he
comments?
spoke at the end,
Yeah,
right? And he was really happy with just learning
Yeah.
everything and or just learning all the different
Yeah.
stories and everything that was shared, which I think that's what's really important to us
Yeah.
because everybody who was speaking, we're preaching to the choir. We already understand the importance of
Right.
this
Right,
stuff.
right.
exactly.
And so,
but he who
Yeah.
didn't know anything about
Totally new.
at the end, he was like, I had no idea that
Yeah. That's a,
that how the PIs felt, and he was
Yeah.
like, by the end, he was like, you should have your own box,
yeah.
Yeah.
your own box.
We've been trying for how long?
Right,
Over
so-
20 years?
For him to be in that space, and he got that out of there, man, that was all worth
Yeah.
it. For him to be in that space and to understand that we need to be separated,
Yep.
not Asian Pacific Islanders. We should have our own Pacific Islander box. He got that. He was like, I had no idea.
Yeah, well, being
Well,
in a
now
room
you know.
with a bunch of PIs, of course he's going to say that. But,
but it was.
he was like, oh yeah,
interesting.
we always are. I'm always in like Asian Chinese spaces, and they always mention API, but
I
there's
never
never
see PI.
Right.
Yeah.
he's like,
Never-
there's never any effort or any presence from the PI side, and
that's-
so we're thinking about it, but we're not really doing anything.
Right.
I just-
right.
Give us some of your funding.
That's so sweet. We're never thinking about the A.
Yeah.
We're still saying,
Yeah.
like, hey, where's all the money going? Oh, the A.
We're trying to get rid of the A.
yeah,
We're trying to say, hey, share with the PI.
yeah,
know.
they should.
We're
Get all
trying to
that
get
money.
rid of the A.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. I think that was an awesome forum for
Yeah.
all of us
Yeah.
to be on, and like Carl and Tao had a conversation about how not just the census, but we can do this again to
Yes.
get other important information for
Right.
PIs out using
Right.
that same forum.
That was the conversation was if this proves to be a good vehicle to
Right.
get there's good bandwidth into the Pacific Islander community, then why walk away from it after the census?
Right.
Then
Yes.
if this
Exactly.
is a good vehicle
Continue
to get
on.
information,
Yeah.
then let's continue with the vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt like it was the beginning.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I
Yeah.
felt like, okay, then if we're going to do this and we can unify the media efforts and have a common message and deliver it and actually get it to the people,
Yeah.
then this is the beginning. That
Right.
to me was like, okay,
Right.
let's get started with it. But yeah, if we move the needle with the census and this proves to be successful for us, we got to continue to use this.
Yeah, and Fee, she had shared too that she loves the platform.
I love
She
I
loved
love
the
Fee.
opportunity to be able to be in her home,
Right.
but still be present.
Right.
The PICCC of San Mateo County, for all their census meetings or convenings, they have Zoom available too. So that was kind of my first introduction to it.
Right.
Like, I think that how Neil said that it wasn't something that was happening in 2010. I don't even think Zoom existed.
I don't think
Well,
so
Zoom-
either.
Zoom
I don't
was
think-
taking
and
over the
maybe-
market share for
Yeah.
Skype. Really,
And so
they're
there was-
eating up Skype's
I think there was Skype,
Yeah.
and then even now there's Google
Hangouts.
Hangouts.
Yeah.
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 So there's a lot
there's
more
a lot
Many different
opportunities
Right.
forms
for
now.
us. Yeah. There was also a lady from another Chinese network that was there
Right.
that offered space, and so we're gonna hold her accountable.
Accountable.
Diana.
Yes,
Diana, if
Diana.
you're listening, girl,
I was laughing.
We
'cause
coming.
saying
We
that.
come into that space of yours.
I was
in Santa
taking that
Clara.
business card and like, no, your phone's gonna ring.
I know, right?
Right.
For the podcast panel.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that'd be awesome. So it was a good space. I loved it. I love the forum, and I love that when we looked, there was like 100 people.
Yeah.
100 people on the thingy-majiggy, but it was fucking badass. It was badass to have all. I mean, and even the people that were chatting. Amongst themselves were saying, this is so tight, like look at us, when we put a little effort into it, we can knock this census out. So.
Right.
Yeah, and continue it on after the census.
Sure.
That's
What's
something-
the next message that
Yeah,
get
we
pushed
can knock
across?
this blank out.
Right.
Census,
we can.
voting,
Health.
Getting rid of the
healthy,
health.
yeah.
But
Getting
there is
rid of
going to be
the A.
seasonal things. There's going to be voting, then there's going to be the census, and then there's going to be, there's going to be things that come up that we can unify on in terms of getting
Yeah.
the message across. It doesn't have to be. I mean, I wouldn't want to overuse it. Then people get kind of
tired of it.
Kind of tired of it. But if it's just really important programs or issues or topics that hit everybody, we should continue to use it.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Good
I
morning,
concur.
Lingy. Lingy from Carson, California. Is saying good morning. Good morning, everybody. Kara Soma, Sam La'a is on. Tina, Matautia, Tala My Vow. Hit all the vowels. There you go. There you go. So, do we have ads or anything?
We can have ads.
Oh, okay.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we could do whatever we want. We can hang out for a little bit. We have Ruben Carrillo coming on the second hour. He was coming to California, but because of the, COVID-19, he decided to stay home, which is Hawaii, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't even leave Hawaii. And we'll be talking to him the second hour. He was the director for the This Is Me video that had all the local artists. I love that video. And it got over 1 million views. So that's badass. And they came together for the census. And so I love that. We're going to talk to him, how that came about, and what they wanted to do with that video. Are we going to break?
We're calling them at what time?
Not till after 11. Teresa Tusi To'o Matu'u. Look, Teresa, I hit all the vowels.
Do we have a chance to say something before?
Yes, go.
Okay, so with the whole COVID-19 protocol that's being put into place across the nation and across the world, it's really, really important for us to still continue to push outreach for the census and let people know, because we're not able to meet in person, which was everyone's plan A, right? So we're out there in the streets, in your spaces, hosting spaces for us to really get the message across that the census is important. Now that opportunity is super limited. So we're asking that if you have family members who might not know about it, anyone in your network that you're really just encouraging them, like, hey, right now, as of now, today, people have already received their official U.S. Census Bureau invitation in the mail.
Yes, you have.
So ask your family members, ask your friends, ask your network, hey, have you received it? It literally took me, for a family of 4 in our household, about 11 minutes to complete it. All 9 questions for each and every one of us. And it's such a simple way for us to secure things for the future, for our people, for our community. So please, we're really going to have to rely on media, technology to do the outreach and do the work for us as much as we can.
And you can even go online. People. You don't have to wait for documentation to be sent to you, right?
How do you do that with because they ask you to put in your code.
The Vo was saying that there's a way that you can find your code online.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not too familiar with how to do that.
Yeah.
So if we find out from Vo, I'm sure we can sort of post it and
Disseminate the
share that.
information.
Share that so that everybody knows. You can complete once you get your official invitation code, you can complete it online or over the phone.
Right.
Or you can mail back, but that's probably the slowest way. So we're really encouraging you to complete it online or over the phone. If you need any help, or if you're kind of not understanding how the process goes, you can reach out to any of us, and we'll be able to kind of guide you through it without with never asking for any of your personal information. But we can tell you, like, go to this site, enter the code here. This is where you find the code on your paperwork, stuff like that. We can definitely help with. And then I found the basis for ethnic media services, so I'll share that. Promoting their mission is to promote cross-cultural comms I'm assuming that means communication, through a network of over 2,000 ethnic media outlets nationwide. So, yeah, if you're a social media influencer, if you have a media platform, a huge following online,
Right.
and if you come from a big family, because a lot of us come from a big family,
Right.
check in with one another as far as their health and their well-being, but also just encourage them, please, to fill out the census. Don't be
Yes.
silenced, folks. We count.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to let everybody know, filling out the census, it's 100% confidential. Your information won't get sold. It won't get given to, it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay right there. So if you live in a 2-bedroom apartment and you have 10 people living in your house, the landlord
Yeah.
is not going to come knocking on your door. Just fill out. We just need to know how many people, how many PIs are in that city. Get an accurate count.
And do we know, once all this data is collected and all the information is received, when will that be released to the general public? Did they say like
They
what time
didn't
period?
say.
They
I
didn't.
think I think you have up until July
to fill
to
out.
fill out.
Yes.
And also, if you don't want anybody to come to your house,
Fill it out.
fill it out.
Yeah,
Fill
'cause
it
they
out
will come to
online.
your house.
Yes, because if they look up, I mean, I guess they're checking off addresses.
Right.
And if they didn't get anything from your address, they're going to come knock on your door.
Yeah.
So if you don't want somebody to come knocking on your door, fill out that form online. Lingy, who has a household of 7, said it took her 20 minutes.
Yes,
That's nothing. And the
that's not
questions
bad.
are so easy. They're not asking, what did you do 20 years ago on January 5th? You know what I mean? Like, it's just how many people, what,
Yeah.
their sex, and they don't ask for your sexual orientation.
Right.
So, but I did see where we were talking
Yeah.
about yesterday how their husband or partner or da 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 da. So
Same
it's
questions
awesome.
for every person in your household.
Right,
So it's
every
not a
question.
different set of questions. It's all the same questions.
Yeah, it's awesome. So also
Nice.
I believe they're released next year.
next year.
Awesome.
Oh wow. Well, that's not bad because July is the cutoff, and then
They got
It would be
Right.
exciting to see how our numbers are different from 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh.
even 10 years ago, they
yeah.
said we got no information about filling out the
I don't
forms.
even remember getting any information. for me to
Exactly.
fill
And
out. Yeah.
and somebody said that even San Mateo County was counted low, like there were only like 5 or 10,000 PIs, which is of course
San Mateo County.
that's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we could be, misinformed.
Yeah.
You're thinking your immigration status doesn't matter, so fill it out. I mean, I think we're just more afraid and not understanding and not informed.
Yeah.
So just your information is confidential. I think that's huge for PIs to know.
And this is also the first year that the Census Bureau is offering online submission.
Yes.
So, that's a new way and
Yeah.
a new opportunity for us to be counted.
Yeah.
If you're, a technical person, take advantage of that. That wasn't something that was available to us in 2000 or in 2010 and beyond. Right. So we have these tools as technology continues to evolve. So, we can really just make
Utilize
this work
it.
and utilize it.
Right.
Census should be as common to us as the talk about voting.
Right.
It by nature, it kind of comes around only every 10 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if we can get our people acclimated and used to like, oh, it's a census. Okay, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll fill it out.
Yeah, I'll fill it out.
I'll
Turn
fill
it
it
in.
out. Yeah. I wanted to say good morning to Leah Poasa, who is checking in from Chicago, and also Dr. Tai Fatlava, speaking it into the universe. So there you go. Are we breaking? Or are we?
So it says the Census Bureau is expected to announce the new population counts by December 31st of this year. That's the Bureau's deadline for sending the president numbers for the reapportionment of congressional seats, which goes into effect beginning with the 2022 elections. So the 2020 census data used for state and local redistricting, which Epi had talked about earlier, are set to be released by March 31st, 2021.
Wow.
So the Bureau is planning to release other new census data in spring of 2021. So somewhere between January and March of next year.
So that's not far away. I mean,
It's
all
not.
this
Not really.
work,
When
yeah.
you think
It's
about
not.
it ending in July.
It's kind of exciting to see how our numbers compare to
I
10
think
years
it'll be
ago.
a lot bigger because when we're doing electronically,
A lot of bigger push
everybody has
to-
access.
yeah.
You know, your phone, you check in there.
Yeah.
So I think I'm excited. I think it's
Me
going to be
too.
big
I'm
numbers.
really excited.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Let's get counted, people.
Right.
Break time?
Break time.
I keep
Break
trying to break
time.
us.
Here we go.
I gotta go pee.
Samoa is a stage play written by author Sia Figuel and adapted by Samoan Solutions. We are gearing up for our third season and need you, yes you, to join our cast of talented community members. Auditions for speaking roles and singers are happening February 22nd and February 29th in San Bruno, California. Sign up at www.tinyurl.com/FOS auditions1 or www.tinyurl.com/FOS audition 2.
Not interested in a speaking part? No problem. Sign up to be a villager at www.tinyurl.com/Fangongol sign up /FAGOGOSIGNUP. We will also have free Samoan arts and culture workshops at each rehearsal. Sign up today. Rehearsals start March 14th. See you there.
Check out the Pacifica Summit, hosted by Pacific Islander Community Association and organized by the National Pacifica Summit Committee, happening on March 12th and 13th, 2020 in Seattle, Washington. Pacific Islanders will gather to advance our collective work in civic engagement, health, education, art, and spirituality. Students can attend this summit free of cost, held at South Seattle College Jerry Brockery Center. For more information, please email Joseph Saya at josephsaya83@gmail.com.
Yeah, up in the kitchen in her underwear, 22 inches of long wavy hair. She's so petite with her little caramel skin. She's saucy with some extra seasoning. Still wonder how she keep her shit so tight. So sexy cooking with the candlelight. So much good energy surrounding us. I ain't gon' lie, she got me so in love. It's a table for two. Know what's on the menu. Better than the kitchen. Middle of the kitchen. We did that up on the island. We did that right on the island. We did that all on the island. We did that and now I'm hooked like a pirate. Girl, they don't know my name. Did it on the island. Come back to the island. Baby, come back, yeah.
After the beach, I said just such the vibe. I might go missing with you all damn night. My wavy hair stay wrapped around you, boy. Say money moon is making all the noise. I'm overheating. Miss me like I've been missing. Kiss me like I've been tripping. Around the world and living, baby. It's electricity surrounding us. He wants an island girl to get lit up.
It's a table for two. Yo, what's on the menu? What a dinner kitchen. Not the kitchen. We did that up on the island. We did that right on the island. We did that all on the island. We did that and now I'm hooked like a pirate. Yeah, you and me on the beach. We made love in ocean water. Do your thing, take your time. I won't bother. Oh yeah, we did it on the island. Play with my sword like a pirate. Girl, we did it on the private. Yeah, we did that on the island. I had to say whoa.
Hey, are you a Psalm student in grades 6 through 12? Do you like to draw, paint, and create? If so, this award is for you. The Illuminati Art Gift is open to students in the San Francisco Bay Area and was created to encourage our young artists. 2 awards of $150 are available for mixed media art submissions, one for each of the following categories: artists in grades 6th through 8th and artists in grades 9th through 12th. All submissions must complete the following sentence: my future is bright because. For more details, including rules, process, artwork, specs, and more, visit www.tinyurl.com/LuminatiArt. That is /LUMANAIART. Submissions are due by April 13th, 2020, so get started creating.
Voices of Oceania. The Pacific Islanders Complete Count Committee of San Mateo County invites you to join us for a night of music and unity as we, Pacific Islanders, stand together to be counted in the 2020 census. This is a free family event going on Sunday, April 19th at the First United Methodist Church in Palo Alto. That is at 625 Hamilton Avenue. At 5:30 p.m., we'll have a resource fair, and at 7 p.m., the music festival will commence. Pacific Islander choirs in San Mateo County interested in performing, please contact Epi Aumavae at taumavae@pcrcweb.org. And to register, please visit our link at bit.ly/Voices of Oceania.
I am a Pacific Islander creative, a single mom of 2 beautiful girls. Who will write my story?
I'm a Pacific Islander. I'm a mother, wife, daughter, and educator. Who will write my story?
I am a gay Samoan Pacific Islander. Who will write my story?
I am a Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander. I stand for the protection of Mauna Kea with my ancestors and community. Who will write my story?
I am a Samoan Pacific Islander. I am a musician and high school student. Who will write my story?
I'm a Pacific Islander. I'm an athlete and a musician. Who will write my story?
I am a Samoan Pacific Islander. I am a middle school volleyball player. Who will write my story?
I'm a grandfather of 15 grandchildren, and I'm a Pacific Islander. I'm a U.S. veteran who will write my story.
You can write your story by participating in the 2020 census. It's a population count that happens every 10 years, and it is a powerful way of telling our country, we are here. It counts every member in your home, including children of all ages. It's confidential. You can respond online, by phone, or by mail. Learn more at 2020census.gov or contact the Pacific Islanders Complete Count Committee of San Mateo County at 415-271-6406.
We will write our story. We will be counted in the 2020 census.
Same color as Cool Whip. Bustin' plays on the phone, callin' money talk. Every time I touch down, it's money talk. Never local, I be everywhere. I'm always outside, you ain't never there. Pull up to the Jets, I be solo. Stock 10 in the XD4. Cuz out of state, need a 2-piece. I ain't talking Popeyes, I'm talking green beans. What you know about money in the magazine? Blue stripes folded up in the magazine. No money gram, I don't do the Walmart. No cash app, dummy, gotta play it smart. Off the radar, blood, that's how I move. Don't make me act up, Rico too smooth. I'm on my way, watch me live it up. All this money and the fame, better give it up. I see you acting like you stunning, you ain't really such. Better get up out the way, you know we finna bust. Yeah, I'm on my way, watch me live it up. All this money and the fame, better give it up. I see you acting like you stunning, you ain't really such. Better get up out the way, you know we finna bust. Yeah.
I got a goal and a vision, I'ma get it to it. I got a ratchet, I ain't talking about a fucking tool. I keep it on me, I ain't feeling how you suckers move. I heard they talking, but it's silence when I'm in the room. It's fucked up, your own niggas go against the grain. Old chick fagged off, it's a cold game. Ever since I hustle harder, time to elevate. I turn my pain into rhymes, it ain't been the same. I'm in the game and I can't fold. Why be locked in with the bankroll? No, I said that I'ma change, but I can't though. By the chicken currency, I'm talking pesos. I'm in the game trying to live it up. I've been down for a while, only way is up. Got some shit on my mind, hit my brother tuck. Something smaller than the dot, you can't hang with us.
I'm on my way, watch me live it up. All this money and the fame, better give it up. I see you acting like you stuntin', you ain't real as us. Better get up out the way, you know we finna bust. Yeah, I'm on my way, watch me live it up. All this money and the fame, better give it up. I see you acting like you stuntin', you ain't real as us. You better get up out the way, you know we finna bust. Yeah, yeah.
And we're back. You're listening to the Faika Podcast. I am Naki. With me in the studio is Carl.
Good morning.
And also in the studio, we have Neo Veve. And
Good morning.
And our Epi Aumavae with
Good morning.
Samoan Solutions. We were talking about, we were talking about the census and then COVID-19, how it's so crazy. And then we were talking about our ethnic media services, how we're just all pushing for Census 2020 to make sure all our people are counted and blah, 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 blah.
And more blah, blah.
And whatever else we were talking about off camera. We were actually eating off camera.
Right?
Mo said the break was too long. Sid.
Eh.
That was Lai Tofayono. And then also, did we play T?
Yes.
Because we weren't listening. We played T. Pacifica Summit was canceled. Journey to Empowerment is canceled for April.
Wow, yes.
So many events are canceled because of coronavirus, COVID-19. So wash your hands. And,
Wash your mulis.
Wash your booty because there's no more toilet paper. But I know. It should.
In the universe.
Yeah.
PSA, public service announcement.
Leaves are in the mail.
Yes.
Oh my God! Did you guys see that ad?
Organic paper.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
Young up.
Did you do that?
I didn't do that.
Somebody posted.
But back in the day in Samoa, they used newspaper.
Ouch.
Ow.
Yeah, no, there's a specific way. You just grab the paper and you kind of scrunch it up. Tutorials are soon to be on YouTube.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've done this before.
Hey, I have in the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have toilet paper, and you can't trust them leaves because you don't know.
My dad grew up in the Great Depression.
Yeah, and you just get newspapers.
He was the one that said that if you use it just newspaper, you get what you think you get. But if you rub it together,
even magazines or so. People, calm down.
I will only use Vogue.
Yeah, there you go. See,
if you only
Vogue, Vogue magazine.
And I will not use Examiner.
Don't use Examiner.
I refuse.
But hysteria. So. There's plenty of newspapers, and listen, we kill enough trees, right?
Yeah.
Who knew that wiping your butt was going to be a topic on the Faika Podcast?
There you go.
Morning, but there we go.
We try to be very well versed in everything that's going on.
We try
and give you solutions, like Samoan Solution. We give you solutions.
Sick guy.
We will use it all.
We will use it all.
Use it all.
Yeah. Okay.
Buy your squares.
There you go.
Yes.
Buy your
$2
squares.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So we're good. We're good.
We're good.
All right.
So we're gonna give Ruben a call.
Let's hear Ruben's.
Ruben Carrillo. From,
Can we sing to him when he gets on the line?
Of course.
This is me.
Anybody who would like to sing, feel free to sing.
Come on, girl.
Oh, we should have. Anyway, I'm gonna dial. Are we ready?
Yes, we're ready. Okay. We'll see. Run.
Nobody call me right now. I'm on another call.
Save your calls for later.
Is it ringing? Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Can you hear?
Okay, then you talk.
Oh, then you talk. I can't hear him either.
I can't hear him either.
Good morning. This is,
let's see.
Hi, Ruben. I'm sorry. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, we were busy laughing and we blew out a speaker.
So what time is it over in Hawaii right now? 8:09.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we are happy to have you here, and I know this was last minute, so We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and your Sunday morning to talk to us. And Naki I think Naki arranged this, right, Naki?
Yes. Joshua Green with the U.S. Census Bureau got a hold of me. So big shout out to Joshua Green. And the video, This Is Me, has gotten over 1 million hits. And so, and the video is freaking amazing. It has so many Pacific Islander artists and a lot of community leaders, and a lot of islands were represented in the video. So we're grateful for Ruben for sharing his art, and definitely for making me cry. I think tons of people cried. So thank you, Ruben, for the great work. Yes. So can you tell us what we know that the purpose of putting the video on is to promote Pacific Islanders to fill out the census. And so did they approach you? How did this come about?
So my partner, Don Cuneo Pio, and I have been doing these videos for a number of years now, similar to this. And so we were approached by a local company here called the Kalaimoku Group, and they had been hired by the U.S. Census to promote to Pacific Islanders and Hawaiians. And so they asked us if we'd be willing to do one of these videos. And I think, the census kind of went out on a limb in doing this as well, because I think it's something that they're not used to doing.
Right.
This method of promoting to people.
Mm-hmm.
And, really it's just to bring, if you watch the video, there's not really any major sales tools in it for the census, but it's to bring awareness, kind of targeting the Pacific Islanders and the Hawaiians, to bring awareness to the census, so that hopefully you watch this video, it kind of lets you know that the U.S. Census is going on, and then you can go to the U.S. Census website and take a look at it, because it's so important that people fill out the census so that funds can be distributed to the proper places. And I think, as you know, Pacific Islanders are really greatly underrepresented.
Oh my gosh, way from 2010, the census, the Pacific Islanders were way undercounted. And so
So real quick, in the studio we have myself and Naki. My name's Carl. And we have our other host, Neo Ve'avea. He's the founder of Utopia here in San Francisco.
Good morning.
And we have one of our community-based organization, the founder of Samoan Solutions, Epi Aumavae.
Good morning.
Okay, so now we got the roll call done. We were going to ask
Ruben, just real quick, because I read your bio where you said your parents are artists, and so you were exposed to art. What did your parents do?
So, both of my parents met at UCLA grad school in the art department. Yeah. And my father, so when they graduated from there, they went on to found a school in La Paz, Mexico, which is where my father's family is from. And it was an art school that taught kind of a trade art to younger teenagers. They would teach pottery and weaving and things like that, so that they could get a trade and make a living. So that's where I was born. And then they moved back to California, and my dad taught at the university system throughout California for the rest of his life. He taught at ended up at UC Santa Cruz and taught there for about 26 years.
Banana slugs.
Awesome.
Yeah, the banana slugs. And he was in the art department the whole time. He was a painter and a muralist. And my mother, she stayed in art most of the time, but kind of not as a she didn't really make a living at it, but she did a lot of things with kids. She was in education mostly and did a lot of things with kids and art. And then my sister is a theater director in California as well.
Oh wow!
Kind of, we've all stayed in the art trade, and I've kind of done. I was never really good with pencil and paper, but I've kind of figured out a way to contribute to my family's art legacy, I guess, by doing television production and videos.
Have you done other work with Kalaimoku Group, or is this your first venture with them?
I've done a few things. I do a wide variety of things in the video world. So with them, last year we did a bunch of they did a bunch of concerts where we did a live webcasting of it, multi-camera live webcast. So that's what I've done with them in the past. Yeah. But some of these videos like this style, we did one for a music video called Hawaii 78 and another one called Hawaii Aloha. There's another one called Island Style. So it just kind of can give you a sense of what it is. And all these are kind of Hawaii. These are all Hawaii based videos with Hawaiian artists. That really has gotten a lot of play, those videos, and it's been nice to kind of spread the Hawaiian culture, help spread the Hawaiian culture out to the rest of the world.
Awesome. So you've obviously worked with PIs pretty extensively, being based in Hawaii and making those kind of films, right?
Yeah, I've made my home here 24 years ago, and I've been working in television in this industry for about 32 or 33 years. And once I kind of established myself here, I fell in love with the culture. My children are Hawaiian or part Hawaiian, and it's my way. I guess I feel very distant, far away, distance wise from my culture. So it's my way of kind of giving back to, another culture. And I feel very strongly about a lot of the Hawaiian, a lot of stuff needs to be shared with the world that people don't know about Hawaii and its people.
Sure.
And so I try to do my part to help. I'm not Hawaiian, but
your babies are, so that's huge.
My children are, and it's important for my children to be educated. Right. And I try to do that. And I also try to, in doing that, I try to help spread the word, about a lot. So we do a lot of documentary work. We do lots of documentary work about a lot of the issues and problems that are rising among the Hawaiian people.
That happens a lot with.
We spent a lot of time up in Mauna Kea.
I was going to ask you about that. Have you been working there with filming any projects or just what is your thoughts of the whole, just being in that zone of Mauna Kea?
Well, I mean, not the first, because this has been going on for decades, but the first time that I went up there was 2015 when they did this kind of a big push. It's kind of like and I'm not the expert, but just from my perspective, there's kind of like a new generation, a younger generation that has grown up learning Hawaiian and speaking Hawaiian and learning all the cultural protocols that maybe the generations before some of them kind of missed because they weren't allowed to. They were told it was not okay.
Right.
But in somewhere in the 70s, there was a resurgence, and they started opening up all these schools that were primarily Hawaiian language schools. And so there's a whole generation of people that are in their 20s and 30s that speak Hawaiian fluently and have this great knowledge of Hawaiian culture. And it seems like their voice is starting to be heard now. So in 2015, that kind of came to head at Mauna Kea, and it hasn't stopped, and they've done a terrific job. And then it kind of came up last year again, and they've done this beautiful job. And then all these Kupuna joined with the younger generation up there this last time, and it's just been wonderful to watch. I probably went up there 5 or 6 times when it started this last time, and we shoot a lot of stuff. We have the company that I have that did this music video, This Is Me 2020, is a company called 4 Miles LLC, and we do a lot of Hawaiian cultural content. And we have a Facebook page called Mauna Ikaleo, and that's where we put out a lot of our Hawaiian stuff. So any of the stuff that we did up on Mauna Kea all gets put up on our Facebook page to kind of help spread that word.
Awesome. The video has touched so many different people from different cultures. It's nice to see. We were just talking about this earlier in the show about how it touched so many different cultures across the Pacific, and it really, it brings tears to a lot of eyes that listen to it and they get to see it. Talk to us about the program after you were approached and kind of given the vision of it. How do you gather all of those images and put those together to the point that you're bringing people to tears when we're watching it?
Well, so we were asked to make the video. Originally, they wanted us to make the video in Hawaii, and we felt it was important that it not just be in Hawaii, but be across the U.S. Because it was important to show that Pacific Islanders are everywhere.
Everywhere.
They're in, unfortunately, we couldn't hit all the small towns because of the budget constraints and time constraints. But we felt like we hit some pockets of that were really important. New York and LA, San Francisco, and then Honolulu.
Yeah, I know. San Francisco.
So I grew up in the Bay Area, so that was very important for me. So for us, then it was about. So we got Hawaiian Airlines on board, which thank God came on board as a partner and helped us with our flights. And so we were able to go and scout each location, look for what we felt like worked best. And, a lot of it is putting a hula halau in front of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, that was awesome.
We were, at times there was some debate about whether we should be there or just shoot them in Hawaii. And it was extremely important to my partner and I that we do it in San Francisco. And in that location specifically, we had scouted it. We felt like it was a wonderful contrast and a wonderful way of portraying Hawaiian culture in the city of San Francisco. And that it's there, it's alive, it's thriving, and it's real. It's very in touch with Hawaii still.
Right. And to have Mark and his halau involved is huge, major, because he's a big name in the Hawaiian community. So that was awesome. And not to say that he doesn't, but it's hard to get him to do interviews and hard to get him, you know what I mean? Like he's a very private person. So that was amazing. When I seen him on the video, I was like, holy. So it was awesome. It was, I mean, I love the video 1,000%. I must have watched it a million times. Same with everybody else, which I'm probably 500,000 of those people that kept clicking play.
Thank you.
Yeah, even for the Samoan community, it was really, really well represented for us. You have long-standing community organizations, Samoan Community Development Center that were in there, Jerome Gray, the We Are Samoa, artist that, down in SoCal. Tiana, I believe her name is of Nonosina, who was drumming in the video at one time, Lea Love. And for me, it was really touching too, because we identify with these places. I'm so thankful that you guys made the decision to take it around the U.S. and not just film in Hawaii, because it really made it personal.
Right.
For me, my niece is Lea Love, and she holds up a picture of my grandfather when he was dancing back in the day in the middle of the music video. So, as a Samoan community member, I definitely appreciated the perspective and the representation that was put in there for our people.
Right. And
thank you.
How did you narrow down? How did you narrow down who was going to be in the video? Because there's so many amazing Pacific Islanders. How do you narrow it down, or did they give you names, or it was just pick the names out of a hat?
We worked with our team on our side. With the gentleman that helped us with the mixing and the sound producing and stuff like that. So we created a list. We went online. We did a lot of research online. And we wanted a cross section. So we wanted professionals. We wanted regular, people that not everybody knows. Mm-hmm. So it just took us a little bit of time to do some research. And it was a lot of word of mouth as well. And we would contact somebody in a community that was well known and that had a lot of contacts, and we would find out from them who they thought that would work as well. And then we'd have people submit audio stuff to us, samples, and we just kind of went through and figured out what would work best with the piece and what part, and went from there.
So from beginning to end, how long was the entire project?
I think we started in March of last year.
Oh, wow.
When we first got it. Yeah. And then it was a little bit of a slow process because we are working with the U.S. Census, so we had to wait for approvals on certain things, and it took time. And then once we got rolling and starting in our shooting phase, we just went and really pounded it out. It was 8 days of shooting, so we were shooting two days in each location, in each city. San Francisco, we had to go back again because
fog.
No, we got really lucky in all of the locations. Really, we got extremely lucky with great weather. We had a literally last second cancellation on the halau in San Francisco, and we ended up leaving without having a halau and came back to Hawaii, and we're very kind of bummed, but we're pretty much done. We were done shooting the piece, so we were done, and we were going to finish the piece up the way it was. And my partner kept pushing for us to go back, and so that's how we ended up getting Mark and shooting Mark there. And I'm so glad that we did. And
that worked out really good.
We've never worked with Mark before. I've heard about him for forever, and I've seen him. I've never worked with him because I guess the distance we're so far away a lot of times. But it was a pleasure, and he's so powerful, and the dance and the feel and the look and the sound of him is so powerful. So we were unbelievably excited to have been given that opportunity.
Right.
Awesome. Quick question, and you had talked about that, just mentioned it briefly. What constraints did you have with or what were you waiting for with the government, the census?
I think it was we weren't, believe it or not, we weren't really constrained that much. The whole vision and all this stuff was all of ours, and they didn't ever tell us we couldn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just about setting up. They had to be on location with us at each place, and it was about coordinating that and making sure somebody flew in from their side from Washington D.C. And so that's kind of the process. And I think getting the budget approval, I think was delayed us quite a while.
Right.
But really, they were very pleasant to work with, and it was very an easy. The only real issues we had, I think, were a lot of the logo things. Anything that showed up, a lot of the logos we had to take out, including, unfortunately, one of my favorite shots was Randy's Donuts.
Oh yeah,
from LA,
and we had to take Randy's Donuts. The people there were incredible, letting us use that location. But we had to take their name off, which I was very bummed about.
Was that considered advertisement, a form of?
Yeah, I think they just didn't want to, because it's a government thing. They didn't want to show it like preference to.
I think Danny was we had a conversation, and Danny was asking about that. Like, I wonder how that all works, because there's permits and advertising and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know, but I love it. I love all the shots. Yeah, I
love it.
Even when we talk about looking at previous videos from 2010 census, we're like 40 hits, 20, 40 hits. And then the fact that this video has just been so successful and pushing the 2020 census, man, we're so grateful, so thankful. And, Sione from Poly Central was saying we got to think outside the box. This was definitely one of the ways.
Was awesome.
Definitely one of the ways of thinking outside the box.
We have, we're talking about your video, and so somebody on our chat line is like,
where do we get the video?
Where do we find the video? And as we're chatting, Adele, her name is Adele Sao. Yes, it's Junior Sao's cousin. But she went to, Carl posted the link to the video while we're chatting, and she went to go watch it, and she just said, I just watched the video, got really emotional watching this. Love the music, the artistry, and all the artists involved, especially our local representatives. Truly inspiring, literally teared up when one of the artists held a picture of her family. She just shared it on Facebook with a message to stand up and be counted. Outstanding and powerful piece. Oh, I'm going to cry. Thank you, Ruben, PBD, for continued excellence of caring for our Polynesian community. That's
And that's
my
really
God.
that's really almost the standard response. I mean, like we're teared up in
We're
reading
crying.
that.
I know.
But that's kind of the standard response when people have seen this. It's more this than it is just indifference. I mean, people are watching this, and you feel when you see your product, and that's kind of the that's the power of the images that you put together is getting the emotion, and that helps. You know, the message rides with that. Like if I watched that
and
it was
feel
boring,
right.
I didn't feel. I wouldn't think. Okay, wait. What was that about? That was about the census. I need to go get that done.
Right.
So you've done a fantastic job, and
thank you so
you've
much.
Touched the hearts of a lot of people. This just what Adele wrote is really that's the feeling of most of the PIs that watch that.
Yeah, because to see us on screen or on in a music video, to see people that look like us doing and you showing us in this light is huge, and we don't see it often. So thank you so much, Ruben, for the art, your eye, and the work that you did on that video to inspire people to get out there and be counted.
Right, Ruben. This is Neil. I wanted to know what do you have plans now? What's going to go forward? What are you doing now? What kind of projects do you have going on?
That's a very good question. With everything that's going on, a lot of the stuff's getting shut down. That's happening. I do a wide variety of stuff. I do a lot of commercials, and I even do like Hawaii 5-0, Magnum PI.
Nice.
And so, I don't know if you heard, but Hawaii 5-0 is now off the air.
Right.
Not making more new ones, so that's a big loss for us in Hawaii.
Right.
So I don't know. I certainly, have had a dream for a few years about doing something with indigenous cultures around the world in this realm, where we combine all these cultures into a song and all the sounds that they create. So that's been a dream of mine, we'll see what happens with that, but that's something I would love to do.
Anybody you would like to collaborate with in the future? Just putting it out there.
Ooh. Well, that's a really good question, and I don't really have an answer for that.
Okay.
There are, but I'm not a musician, and I'm not musically inclined. So I rely on my sound engineers to help me with that. There are a lot of artists out there. I can't think of any offhand, indigenous culture-wise, but I worked with a group. I'm not gonna forget the name, but I worked with a group in. Yeah, I'm gonna forget. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Ruben, we don't want to take up any more time. It's Sunday morning, so we're gonna let you rest up and get ready for the week. We just wanted to, if you have any shout outs, or if you could please, just shout out your company. Is it Carrillo Digital Inc.?
Carrillo Digital Inc. is my company, but the company that I do all my cultural stuff through is a company called 4 Miles LLC.
All right.
The number 4 Miles LLC. And really take a look at our Facebook page, which is Manai Kaleo, and it's MANAIKALEO. And you'll see a lot of our Hawaiian cultural stuff on there, a lot of Mauna Kea stuff on there. But that'll give you a good sense of how we approach Hawaii.
Okay, Manai Kaleo. Everybody go out there and follow 4 Mile LLC. Ruben, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruben.
For your art and sharing your vision with us, and we appreciate the work that you do.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you helping us get the video on the spotlight.
All right, take care and
Have a
happy
good
Sunday.
Aloha.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that was great.
Oh my gosh, she's awesome.
Amazing.
That's wild. It took a year.
I know. When you said March, I was like, oh, wow.
Last year?
Yeah. Would you think like March and the video is like 6 minutes?
Right.
The planning.
The planning that has to go behind that. Yeah.
We see the finished product and just think like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So did I hear that
A lot of
right?
work.
That he came out to San Francisco and then shot, and then it didn't work out,
and came back,
and then he came back and he got
Yeah.
Mark involved.
Yeah.
At that I mean, that's a
That's saying
the way
a lot.
It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Mark is huge.
Which is awesome too that he did that, because remember he said that they were just gonna roll it with the footage that they had.
Already.
Right.
I'm thankful that he came back.
I'm thankful that he came
Yeah,
back.
Mark's a very powerful.
Yeah,
very powerful.
You can feel it in the video. I mean, when that segment comes on, you can feel the energy in the video.
Kind of highlights it almost.
Yeah. And having the Golden Gate in the background, like once he had that thought, it was like, who would argue with that? Like that's a great idea, and it comes out that way in the video.
And Mark's voice is just right when you hear him.
You can
right when you hear him
recognize it,
chant,
yeah.
you automatically know it's him. So I love that video. So if you haven't seen it, go on to our Facebook page. We've posted it. Someone Solutions has posted it.
Everybody.
Utopia, just go check it out. It's a beautiful, beautiful video. So kudos to Ruben and his art.
His company.
And his company, 4 Mile LLC. Go follow Mana y Kaleo, their Facebook page, and check out all his work.
And shout out to Hawaiian Airlines.
Shout out to Hawaiian Airlines.
Really?
For their support.
Yeah.
We
Fly
can't
us
wait
out.
for you, Hawaiian Airlines, to also partner with us.
Yes.
Right, Hawaiian Airlines?
Yes.
Good work.
Putting it out into the universe.
Yes.
So, that was
Immediately
awesome.
what I thought of when I heard that. I'm like, we need that partnership.
We're going to call you, not right now, because what is that? Coronavirus. But the airports are like empty. Was it empty when you got...
No, it
Not
actually.
San Francisco,
yeah,
right?
people were coming home. I mean, you
Yeah.
could tell people were they couldn't wait to get home. I couldn't wait to get home. I was, being on that plane and somebody coughs, everybody's head kind of turns. Like,
Bo is
why are you
on.
coughing?
Bo is on. Good morning, Bo.
Good morning, Bo.
Was your mooly itching? Because we were talking about you for about an hour. So
Thank you for hosting us yesterday, Bo.
Amazing job, Bo did. Bo, he did a great job, and he was more technically inclined than some people.
Than others.
Yes, than others.
And he also, thank you for sanitizing everything. I noticed that.
I know.
He was like,
he was wiping
stuff
everything down.
He was an amazing host.
He was an amazing host. So thank you.
Nice.
He was awesome. What's
As
coming
we
up?
all put on our sanitizer.
Right, I reached for a hand
Reminder.
sanitizer. What's coming up for Someone Solutions? I know some stuff have been canceled because of this.
Right now we had to cancel our Whangongo Samoa workshop and rehearsal for the production last week or yesterday. That was scheduled for yesterday. Next week we have to cancel the workshop portion, but we've been working to figure out alternative ways that we can get our cast members in to begin rehearsals. So if you're part of the cast, if you're interested in being part of the cast, hit us up because we're sending out emails to figure that out. And so what that kind of looks like for us is online rehearsals. We also talked about limiting the amount of people in the space. So calling people in for 30, 45 minutes per scene to try and get them still engaged. We just don't want them to the momentum to drop off while we're in this.
Parts still open? Are you still looking for a
Yes, we're
cast?
definitely looking for males. So we need some adult males or, high school and up males to join because we have some important roles that are still kind of open and pending there. Yeah.
Do they have to audition or? Well, I mean, they have to audition, but what's that process look like once?
So we've already held auditions for it, and so right now what it looks like is you'll come into one of the rehearsals, and then we'll just kind of fit you in for the part that we have open and see where we'll kind of talk with you, speak with you. A lot of people who come in and want to be part of a speaking role, their main worry is the Samoan words.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, how much does this character speak Samoan?
Right.
But the reality is we have a huge amount of time. The format that Sia created for this play, Sia Figuel, the writer, is that it's kind of, there's Samoan parts in there and then it's translated immediately after. So being able to have the contents of what you're saying is helpful, and then also just having this whole time period for them to practice is really helpful too. So you have a lot of time to get comfortable with the script. That's just always what comes up. A lot of these people, it's first timers. Yeah. So we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for people who are willing to come out and be involved and to learn. And that's we want to remind our audience too. We're not looking for perfection.
Are you guys in contact with Sia? whatever.
to.
Like
You can be a
the
village
people.
You can be a village chief.
No, it was so. The first time I went and saw it, it was so amazing. I mean,
And we missed you guys last year. 'Cause
Yeah,
you were in Samoa.
we were in Samoa,
right?
but we were thinking about. Today's the day they were doing. Yeah,
I didn't even. I mean, I knew it, but then when we were in Samoa, I was like, wait, like it's way later in the year.
Yeah, it's usually in the summer.
Yeah.
But because you guys had a family
We
reunion.
had a family reunion in
Mhm.
Samoa, so that's why we had to push it.
Ah.
And so hopefully the city of San Bruno Park and Rec, they're the ones who are kind of dictating what's going to happen as far as the
with
workshop space.
Yeah.
We're really, really hopeful that things will clear up with this whole COVID-19 thing and that we'll start to reacclimate ourselves into regular, normal life. Because the next scheduled workshop, we have Tifa Moana, who's going to be there doing an intro to Siva Samoa. And then we have Rex Tiumalu, who's a Sivafi fire knife dancer.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You know,
Those are your workshops, right?
Yeah, that's the workshop, the next scheduled workshop. So if we're not able to be there in that space, the plan B for that workshop, because Rex is based out of Florida, and it's a huge opportunity to have him come out here and teach.
Huge.
Yeah.
You know, Sivafi, we might move it to Ocean Beach. You know, it's open out there.
Oh, yeah.
So
There are
that might
regulations
be.
with that.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
might
so you're
be-
going to use actual fire?
Oh, I don't know if he'll light it
Oh.
up or not. But
Yeah.
Ocean, even if he does light it up, they're one of the people that have bonfire.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a bonfire out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that it wouldn't be too bad. We're just trying to make sure that the space is.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, you
I'd
know,
take that
that's
class.
awesome. Me
that
too.
workshop.
Yeah. And it's very limited to the amount of people. Like in the Bay Area, I don't think there's anybody that is
Does
a
it
Sivafi
anymore? No,
dancer.
I haven't seen anybody do
No,
that for a
there
long
isn't.
time.
I know there's people down in SoCal
Right.
with the Letuli family, and I
Yeah.
think they even host a Sivafi like sort of event down there, or competition down there. But people, I don't know anybody that comes from up here. I know people that come
Yeah.
from other places.
Other places.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I remember Monfo had some for her kids' graduation. She had
A fire dancer?
Yeah,
It might have been Rex.
and it was. I
Yeah.
think is he from
He's from
Florida?
Florida.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was Rex then. So
And he was amazing.
he was
Yeah.
badass. So
He works with, you know, he does work with Disney out there.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Yeah.
Many different shows. Really on top of his craft. So we really hope that it doesn't get canceled and that things get, you know,
This
sort of leveled off.
It's kind of dictating our lives here.
It is, and it is inconvenient, but we understand.
Yeah,
you know,
for
we
real.
understand the severity of it. Yeah, so we're hopeful that that's going to happen. Because we have an amazing lineup of
Yes, you
workshops
do.
this year.
Yeah.
Like, man, there's you know, Pastor Tala's going to be in. One of our new scenes for this year is talking about the Iokonga. And so Pastor Tala has a workshop scheduled in June
Nice.
where he talks about the different types of Iokonga for the Samoan people. So that's exciting. Afkasi Prince is back. They're going to do block printing on fabric,
Oh,
you know, with
nice.
Amanda Stowers. And then Poe, I'm sorry, I can't say her last name, but she was a guest here.
Yes, yes.
Also,
Dimitrievich.
yeah,
Yes. There-
yeah,
look at
she's
Carl.
gonna be. Ooh, thank you,
Let me just look
Yeah.
at Carl. Okay,
Yes.
there you go.
She's gonna be hosting a what do you call it? Watercolors. Yeah, a watercolors workshop. Yeah, so a lot of fun things in store as long as it's safe to host them. We'll be out there to do it, and then also while you're at home, children, of course, the Illuminati Education Gift application process is open now until April 13th. So you have a lot of time to get that in. There may be some consideration if folks are not able to get the official transcript, and that might be the only consideration that we have since schools have closed down.
Right.
And so that we understand that may be something that's difficult to get your hands on if you don't already have it. But other than that, you know, apply. We are very, very close to meeting our goal of $5,000 for the Illuminati Education Gift Fund. I think thanks to Sekio Fuapopo, we just breached
Nice.
4,000.
Nice.
So we're almost there. Kids, if you are 6th grade all the way up into 12th grade, there's categories for you. Our transfer students of Samoan descent that are entering into a 4-year institution, transferring from a 2-year institution, there's also a gift for you. So check out our Facebook and our Instagram pages to get connected and plugged in with those resources. And that's at Samoan Solutions on Instagram and on Facebook.
So just before we go off of that, we actually called Epi because we had an open mic because the guest was going to be calling in. We were thinking, hey, we've got an open mic. It was not, at least in my mind, it wasn't to promote all of these things. but the thing is that you've got all these things going on. You know what I mean?
A lot of
and that
things.
just says a lot about you because we always want to promote the things that you're doing and your program is doing.
Yeah.
It just says that much about you that we're like randomly grabbing you to bring you in. And then you've got all these things that you always have going on.
Yeah. You're super busy, girl.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad that we got you in for more than one reason.
Thank you.
And being able to talk about those.
Last
because
week.
those are all things that we promote, but I didn't know that you had all those things.
And we have it
right
here
now.
live. We have it here live.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Having me here.
Last week, we stopped at Glow Up pop-up shop for Kiana and her Mission Mission My Empowerment, and who was there, but of course your babies.
Right at the front. We pulled up, parked there, and I was like, look at these kids.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, again, Naki and I always say, what were we doing at that age? We
Right.
certainly were not trying to get people to sign up for the census.
Yeah, it was.
Neither was I.
Right?
It was so awesome to pull up and see your babies there. You know, your babies there promoting the census, and so we, that just says everything about
the work.
you and Fanga, the work that you're doing, and you're passing it on to your babies. We stopped by to see Kiana. She had the Glow Up pop-up shop at, of course, Feel Good Cuts, and he emptied out
everything.
He emptied out the shop to load up. Like there was over 100 and something dresses there.
Yeah.
People donated. People donated shoes. You guys donated
Accessories.
food. Samoan Solutions donated food and fed the people that stopped by. It was a big, huge spread because I was eating. There was a big, huge spread, and then you guys didn't even promote that you did that. But I seen Kiana; she went on to thank you guys, and I was like, dang, you guys just do the work, just do it.
Yeah,
You
we were
don't
at the
even-
event, saw the food, didn't know that you were responsible for that.
And it was
That's
funny
awesome.
though too because we were like planning on doing this whole like appetizer spread, and then the COVID-19 thing came, and we're like, okay,
Right.
let's do prepackaged stuff.
Right.
So I really want to shout out the girls at Mission Me,
Right.
Kiana, Tiana, and I'm remiss, I forget the names of the other two individuals that are part of the organization. Like, it's such a huge example of these young leaders who are coming into their own and
Right.
really just supporting and finding a way that they can create space for the community and support the community, and they're taking action to do it. So any way that we can support, we're thankful to help. We're thankful to be there, that they allowed us to be there to do outreach for the census. We handed out like over 45 folders to tell people of all races and all ages that the census is coming. Opportunities to speak with our students and how they can help their families identify census stuff and get that stuff done. But really, man, they just them being able to provide that service, like I already know prom was off the board for me because my parents didn't have the money to buy the dress. So if I wanted it to be on the board, I had to find a way to get the money for my dress, which I'm always super resourceful. But man, to have something like this, that would have been nice.
That's awesome.
It was like glam services that were being raffled off also.
Yes.
They had accessories there for you. What else was there?
Mo was there. And I'm sorry, I forgot her last name. She is a Afakasi artist.
Yeah.
She just came back from London Pacifica fashion show.
Yes.
And so we're going to have her on soon.
That was my first question to her. Like, so were you here when Poly by Design was here? Because I think you should be on the show. Right. I got a date.
Yes. We had her. We caught her, girl. We seen her. We had met her through Neo when you were running for the District 10 supervisor. And then when I seen her, she was donating. She was going to create 2 dresses for 2 of the girls that were coming to pick up or coming to get dresses. And I think she was raffling it off. But that is so amazing because when I was in high school, I had to pick one or the other. And, you know, these days people go to the junior prom and senior prom. But I had to pay for it. I had to get a job, to pay for my dress, to pay for your bid, to pay for your bid, everything. I had to pay for everything. So to have these guys doing this and to help high school kids that are
amazing.
Freaking amazing.
And shout out to Cree, too. I've seen her super active on Facebook.
Yep.
Like just really engaging people to make donations. And she was picking up dresses. I saw her buying dresses. Like, man, she was doing a lot of work.
That was a really good
all my Usos, man.
That was a really good example of the community coming together for an event and saying, I could do this, and then a different organization says, I can do this, and we're all promoting it. It just, and we left there that day talking about
feeling really good.
How we've been in a lot of meetings. We've been in a lot of, she and I have, you know, going over budgets and all these kind of things. And then when we left that event last week, we were like, man, that feels good. That feels like when we started and we were just running from event to event. All the positivity, the kids, the people coming together, all that kind of stuff. We drove off going, damn, that's why we're in it. That's why we're doing it.
So rewarding, right?
Yeah.
So rewarding. And then to hear all the people that are behind it, like Christine Mawia and Amu donating all those dresses, and then you guys participating and donating the food that fed the people that came in there. And then Mo with Afakasi Artists, she's donating her time to create 2, originals.
That's
and
awesome.
She's badass, okay? And
piggybacking the kids with a census out in front. I mean, there were just a lot of things going on.
A lot of things going on. So that just shows what our community can do being, together.
And it was International Women's Day.
Yeah.
So how about that for timing?
It was awesome. It was a great job. I mean, I just love our peoples. So, you going to read words or you want me to read it?
Did the words come across earlier?
Essence of Mana.
Okay. Essence of Mana, as I wait for it to come up, is a 12-week program. I'm still looking for the actual words. That's designed to support adult family members in developing communication skills and real-life tips that can lead to a more loving and nurturing family dynamic. It's free for the whole family. New classes started earlier this year on January 23rd. Contact Nani Wilson at 650-243-4850 or email her at nwilson@aars.org. PIYA is an after-school program going on now. Well, not right now because of the COVID-19 thing going on.
Right.
But it is a program that's running right now if the school were in, Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. They have a whole bunch of stuff there for the kids. Homework assistance, academic enrichment, free snack and supper, educational games, cultural learning through dancing and singing and arts and crafts, and a whole lot more. Applications are available at 2055 Sunnydale Avenue, San Francisco, California. If you have any questions, please call 415-861-1086 or via email at info@scdcsf.org.
Yay. Just a quick shout out to Phyllis, who says, good morning, people. Love you. PJ, who's on Vaikongi. We have Sierra's on. Vaikongi is in the house.
Hey, Vaikongi.
Vaikongi. Hi, Zach.
Zach's birthday.
Happy birthday to our Zach. Letufunga Tuimavave. Good morning, PJ. Congratulations. Got into San Francisco State.
Go ahead, PJ.
Brand Dizzle, good morning. Yvette Manamea is on. Good
morning,
morning,
Yvette.
Manamea strong.
Manamea strong. So we just wanted to thank our crew for any other shout outs, any other.
Get those bingo squares. Go to utopiasf.org or onto our Facebook page or Instagram and get a square.
To contact Samoan Solutions, how can they do that?
You can follow us on Instagram at Samoan Solutions, or you can find us also on Facebook on our Facebook page at Samoan Solutions. You can email us at samoansolutions@gmail.com or samoan_solutions@yahoo.com, or you can call Funga's number, message me, I'll give it to you.
So now you have no excuses.
Right? I want to thank Naki here for supporting Famamalu Design. She's sporting her Fialafani shirt. or hoodie, Love One Another. That's also my side business.
There you go.
Of all the other things that I do in this world.
Do you ever sleep, girl?
Yeah, when I sleep hard. So if you have any design jobs, anything that you need to get done, I'll be more than happy to take a look at the projects. Follow me at Faamamalu, FAAMALU Design, DESIGN on Instagram, or you could just hit me up through Salmon Solutions page and I'll connect. And then we have like all this gear that's available on Amazon for you to purchase and help support me and my 2 children
and my babies. Carl.
Awesome. So that was amazing because Epi went through about 10 or 15 minutes of all the programs, explaining all the programs going on.
That's awesome.
And then she didn't even go through her side hustle. She had another job
I'm like, hello.
So busy lady right there. I wanted to take a minute and talk about or make some comments about the COVID-19 and all the the panic and the hysteria, and then all the bad mouthing that's going on of like people are going crazy, which some people are, but there's so many good things that are coming out of this. When you hear about Mark Cuban, the NBA suspended their season. Mark Cuban owns the Mavericks. He said, I'm paying my arena crew for every game that they would have worked.
Wow.
Some of the owners didn't follow suit, so some of the players have gotten together and said, we'll pay those people so that they don't miss out on paychecks.
Aww.
We've got people delivering food.
That's awesome.
Delivering breakfast and lunch. Schools, that food is getting delivered to kids. I saw a Samoan lady in San Francisco, Jane Paulo. She is saying, if you need lunch, if you need a meal, if you need anything and you're not leaving the house, let me know.
Yeah.
No shame. You can hit me up. You don't have to comment on the post that she had on Facebook. And a whole bunch of people jumped on that and said the same with me. If you need something, reach out. So there's a ton of good things that are going on that I don't think are getting enough run on social media, enough run in the press, and all these good things that are happening are getting kind of buried. So yeah, there's craziness, people like tackling each other and mugging each other for toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
Crazy.
All that crap's going on.
Crazy.
But that stuff is going to be that's going to be in front of the screen and on the phones because that's funny, cool, awful, whatever.
Trendy.
It's trendy. What won't hit those news feeds are people that are bringing kids lunches and breakfast that you wouldn't get. And the post where people are saying, just hit me up if you need something and I'll make it happen. So shout out to all the PIs and all the people that are doing good things that aren't getting any shine at all.
Awesome.
I love that.
Thank you to our Neo, to our Epi for coming down and keeping us company. A lot of people, and really, like we had a guest that canceled because of coronavirus. So, understandably. So, think before you go out. Is it necessary for me to be out with 50 million people? And just be safe. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And we'll be back next week. So come back to Faika with us.
Ooh, 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 ooh.